Have you ever seen a man move across the country? My man, Chef Richard. My man, Chef Richard. Straight from California.
Yep, that's right. Straight from California. Been here a couple of years now. Love every single day that I have woken up here. It was a good change, something well-deserved. Great place, great people, great food. And folks, welcome back to Talking About Food. That's what I like doing the most. And what gives me the most pleasure about doing this show, obviously I like talking about food, but is the guests that I am literally honored to have on the show. And I have back again Anthony Ludovici-DeBrigida. He is the owner and chef at Anto's Pizza Romana in Conway. And Anthony, thanks so much for coming back.
Thanks for having me back.
Oh, man, this is such a joy for me. Not just because it's food, but we add a little addition to that. He's a pizza god, the way I look at it. And I can say that. You know, I'm not an amateur when it comes to this. Now, I know everybody, especially with pizza, they've got all their own opinions as to it. But I made them. I made the Neapolitan original wood-fired pizza every single day for 9 years. So I know what goes into it. So I think I can speak intelligently about it. Anthony, you're recently back from the 2025 Pizza World Cup in Italy. You won, was gold medal, right, for focaccia?
First place.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We went, I think last time we were on the show is when we just decided that we were going out there.
Yeah, you had been back from Las Vegas, and after you told me what you had to go through, I thought to myself, you're insane. So yeah, how did that work? Did you have to bring the dough with you?
So this time, I did it a little differently this time. I made the dough in Conway, froze it, and then took it with me on the plane. So last time in Vegas, I was like, making the dough and then traveling with the crust out to Vegas. This time, I had just made the dough balls,
right,
frozen everything, and then took them with me on the flight and baked them all.
Did you have to okay that first, like as part of the rules as to what you could do?
No, I knew I could do it there. I actually, when one of my mentors, he's the one that invited me to go out there. He was my instructor when I got my pizzaiola certification. I was asking him because I was like trying to determine when we should get out there, if I should make the dough. He's like, oh, you don't really have time. He's like, what I do for all my international competitions, I just freeze it, take it with me over there. You know, it thaws out on the flight over and then kind of good to go.
And how long after you landed was the competition?
Maybe 2 days after. I think we landed at night. It was an overnight flight. We got there in the morning. Yeah, we got there in the morning and the next day it was the competition.
So you were able to defrost the dough gradually the way you wanted it to be.
Yeah, so pretty much froze it, took it right from the freezer, packed it in a cooler. I bought one of those like cooler backpacks. That was my carry-on for the plane. And I had some in another container in my check bag. So I only needed like 3 dough balls or whatever, but I brought a dozen of them just in case, to see how it would thaw out better. Yeah. So it was just in a cooler pretty much from the time we left Conway, drove to Charlotte, took the overnight flight to Rome, got to the hotel and all that stuff, got into a fridge there. So worked out better than I thought it was going to, honestly.
Stressful anyway?
Stressful in every way. Yeah. Like every minute I'm like, well, because you get there, it's not like I can make dough once I'm there. So it's like our whole trip, the whole competition, everything is like dependent on how the dough balls last coming from Conway over to Rome. So
and tell me a little bit about the lead up to it. Do they have to be finished at a certain time? Is there a clock? How does that work?
Like the actual competition?
Yeah.
Like yeah, so we did 3 different categories. There was actually a mix-up with the one. So it was pretty much they had it where the competition was over 2 or 3 days and you had certain time slots. Pretty kind of similar to Vegas, I guess. You know, similar like time slots that you do. The focaccia padellino category, Neapolitan, margarita. They had different categories: dessert pizza, fried pizza, whatever it was, all day. For each of the first couple of days, you had a time slot. This would be from 10 to 2, from 2 to 6, whatever it would be. And then once you kind of just got your ticket, and once you were in line, they just call you up and you have like 10 minutes. They have a little timer at your table. You got to build the pie, bake it off, do whatever you're doing. And then you cut it up, present it. There's like a couple dozen judges. Yeah, so there's a couple dozen judges from all over the world that are there, and you bring it up to the tables, cut it up for them, they try it, and then depending on if they enjoyed it, there's also a written part. So if you score well enough, then you go and you take a written test. So your scores are a combination of presentation, the taste, and then how you score on the written part of it.
So they write something.
They have questions about fermentation, about pizza in general.
And you need to answer correctly, not just how you do it. You need to, wow.
Yeah, so it wasn't just for your actual, pizza. It was how well do you know you talk about your toppings, you talk about the fermentation process, your dough, all that stuff.
Which you could do in your sleep now, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your fermentation process? Are you allowed to talk about that?
Yeah. I talk about it all the time on our pages. So it's a little different between the two of them. The round pies, which is our New York style, which when we redo our menu here, I'll be changing the name to those. We talked about that a bit last time I was here. Those are always, I try and do it at least 48 hours. That's made with a 50%, our round pie dough is 50% Biga starter, which we talked about before. I like to sometimes I have to use them after 24 hours, depending on how busy it is. We only have a certain amount of space, but I like to push them to 48 hours, 72 if I can. But the Romans are always 72 hours. So that is, I mix the dough, I bulk ferment it for 2 days, take them out, ball them, and then they get another day in the fridge before I bake them off and use them.
On the following day.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So I'll make dough. The dough we made yesterday, we'll ball up tomorrow. What day is today? Sunday, for Tuesday. So the dough I mixed on Saturday, I'll bake off for Tuesday.
Right. And boy, does that bring back memories. Yeah. How are you received there in Italy, in Rome? I mean, do they welcome you, or do they do they have an attitude like, what is this American doing here? How could he possibly be any good?
No, I don't think so. I think at least in that competition, I feel like I was pretty well received. I speak a bit of Italian, so I get by, and I was able to conversate, talk about my food, talk about whatever. And there's people from, it was the Pizza World Cup, right? So you got teams of people: Tokyo, Japan, France, Brazil. Obviously some Italian teams, and there was only 2 Americans there. So,
who was the other American?
He was actually out of Georgia. Yeah. Someone
had you heard of him before?
No. He competed. He was actually in Vegas when I was out there, but I didn't know him very well. And his name was Leo, and I met him out there. Actually, my mentor, my old instructor, he was the one that invited me, and he kind of put us in a little group text before we went out there. So we met, as being the only Americans out there for the competition. We met once we got to the hotel, and we, helping each other throughout the competition.
Is he any good?
Oh yeah, really good.
Yeah,
he won. I forget what he won. I think it was non-traditional in Vegas. At the Pizza Expo last year, or the year before, and he won something in Rome at the World Cup this year as well. So,
wow.
Yeah, it was cool to kind of get with him and to both take something home.
Yeah. In this business, I have always felt there is always room to learn. Are you constantly learning?
Oh, for sure.
What is it that you've learned since you've opened the restaurant as far as cooking pizzas are concerned? Is there somebody that you lean on for more information?
Yeah, thing that got me really interested in opening my own Roman style pizza shop, I went up to Mineola, to Taglio Pizza. Rob Cervoni, he owns it. And then Massimiliano Saeva, he kind of taught the class with him. They're both on the World Pizza Champion team. You know, Massimiliano's an Italian guy. He actually has a sandwich shop in Spain, but I took their class in person. Then I took a second class from Massimiliano, just a virtual one. And now I started it right before we went to Rome, another mentorship program with him. That's kind of like, here's courses, here's some like tips and, you know, some tips to work on your product. And then, you know, on Mondays, we kind of have like a Zoom call where we chat about results, what I'm looking to fix, what I want to improve about it. And he just kind of gives me ideas and I work on them that week and then let him know how it comes out.
And that has elevated the product, you would say?
I would say so for sure. Yeah. You know, people like, especially Carly, you know, I'm like, this isn't right. She's like, what? She's like, I can't tell the difference. You know, most people are like, it's fine.
But you know.
I know. Yeah.
You know. You see, son of a B, I'm telling you, I get this stuff. Yeah, I get it.
So I'm all, you know, every day is like, you know, we've talked about the dough before. It's like a science experiment every day, especially with the weather here, you know, 70 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees. It's constant tweaking. And me, there's things that, you know, with the Romans, I took the Roman dough. We went to Rome and won first place for that. And then it's like, you still want to improve it and you still want to work on it. So it's like, you know, Sundays, you're like, what do you do for fun? You know, it's like, I try and get better, you know, try and improve the product, try and take courses. And he's been a huge help for me. And, you know, anytime I have a question or it's a lot easier with this mentorship program, like I said, because anything I have, any issues or whatever, we chat, you know, on Mondays. And thankfully, you know, I'm at the shop. So it's like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what it looks like. Oh, do this, boop, 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 boop. You know, try that. And even as soon as most recently as this week, just changed the recipe again. So this week, you know, and it's everything, the recipe itself, how I store it, the fermentation times, you know, bulk ferment versus doing the balls versus, you know, everything. It's like so much that goes into it. And it's like, you know, start to see results and it's like, oh, you know, the best. So always learning, always trying to, you know, get better and improve. And
now, so all you folks who are listening, I have 2.5 million listeners. Right. You know, the ones that will sign on to Facebook and try to tell Anthony what he's doing wrong. After listening to that, I think you can take a break. How's business?
Business is crazy right now. You know, we got back from Rome in October, very beginning of October. And that first week, you know, we got back, I think on a Saturday night, we went in right from Charlotte, drove right to the shop, make dough, get ready for Monday. And when we opened up Monday, I think, you know, we're on the news, different news stations, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then the newspapers were there, and it was crazy. And, you know, October in Conway, you got Halloween, you know, all this crazy stuff. So it was just like a madhouse. And then I'm like waiting for it to die down. Then Thanksgiving comes, then Christmas comes. And I'm like, all right, the new year. And now, you know, based on where we were last year, we had just opened up, obviously, because we were just over a year now. But from this January to last January, we were up like almost 100% from last year. So it's still, it's been crazy.
I don't know if you heard the episode that we had gone, my wife and a couple decided we were going to go to this place called Louvan's Fish Camp outside of Conway. And when we got there, we were supposed to make a reservation. And I said, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll handle this. I'm going to call over to Anto's and make sure we can get a table in there. And I called and I misunderstood. It must have been your wife first that I spoke with. And she said something about 2.5 hours. And I thought that meant for like a takeout pizza. I said, do you have a table available? And she said, yeah. So as we were driving over, I called the other couple and said, is it okay to go to Anto's? Are you okay with that? It's the best pizza around. Oh, yeah. So I called back to confirm. And that's when they said, no, it'll be 2.5 hours before you get your pizza. And I thought to myself, I'm the only one in this group that goes, effing A, man, that is great. More power to them. The others are going, what? 2.5 hours. I got to tell you something before I forget. I had a mentor in Los Angeles who helped me with my restaurant. Then he was maybe 80 years old. He had 6 or 7 very successful restaurants. And he used to tell me, keep it small and keep it packed. do you plan on opening? I would never give you advice.
Yeah.
You know, you don't argue with success, but are you thinking about another place? Because if I were you, I wouldn't do it.
No, not at all.
Oh, good.
People are saying, you need a bigger spot. I'm
No.
like, nope.
That's right.
Nope. Because in my point of view, like I told you when we opened, we just wanted a small spot.
Yeah.
Like now, thankfully, we've had like a lot of success with this spot. But I think we have success because of how we do everything. There's a reason that people are willing to wait 2 hours or 3 hours or an hour or whatever it is. You know, we like to keep it small. I make, as you know, every single pizza, and it's just kind of the process. I feel like people enjoy it because of how we do it, if that makes sense. And also, right when we first opened, we started doing these pizza and wine nights on Saturday nights. So I'd show people how we make our Roman dough. They'd stretch it to a pan. They can pick whatever. And we had someone there who's a business owner in Conway, and he said, you know, it was before it was real busy or anything. You know, we were
before the deluge.
Yeah, it was. And he said, if I could tell you one thing, it's do not expand too fast. He's like, you know, because he's like, he had a couple of places here and up in Philly. Actually, he's from Philly as well. And he's like, people will try and get you to expand. You're having all this business. He's like, one of my bars, like I open up a patio section. He's like, well, now you got to fill those seats to pay for that. Now it's like, well, you have you do your numbers, what you need to make. And he's like, that number goes up. Now you got to worry about keeping that up. So for me, it's like, it's still so new. And I'm like, you know, maybe if it goes this way longer, I can try and figure something out. But people are like, you need more ovens. You need this, you need that. I'm like, I don't want to buy another $30,000 set of ovens and expand the whole, you know, rearrange the whole kitchen and do all this stuff just for it to go. Right now, if it slows down considerably, it's still okay because we're, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not rocket science that the general public that, we'll say, drives by your place, are they more apt to want to come into a place that looks half filled or there's a line out the door? There's something to be said about that.
Yeah, and it's a strange thing too, because a lot of people, like, you go to Google or Yelp or whatever the case may be, and there's nobody in. There's only a couple tables in there. They're saying it's an hour and a half wait for a pizza. I'm like, well, people call in. You know, what most people do, especially on the weekends, you know, it gets to an hour, 2 hours for a pizza. They come in, they order a pizza, or they call and say, hey, we want to eat in. Said, all right, it's 2 hours. We'll text you 15 minutes before your pizza's going to be ready. Then they come in and eat.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So especially because we get people that come in that drive an hour and a half to come see us. And it's like, well, that's perfect because it's an hour and a half wait, you know, and they get there and the pizza's ready. Or even if they're right down the street, they call in, hey, we're going to come in and eat. All right, it's an hour and a half. I'll text you when the pizza's going in the oven. They come in there and then the pizza's ready.
That is brilliant.
So,
that's shifting gears to make it that much easier for your guests. That's terrific.
Mm-hmm.
You said something just before. I thought you were going in a different direction, but I'll lead you back. I noticed some issues with a minute part of your customers that you tend to have a little issue with once in a while. And I have to say, as a former pizzeria owner, right? It doesn't matter, pizzeria, whatever. As a former restaurant owner, I would have given anything to be in your place because you've got this incredibly busy restaurant where 99.9% of the people, including me, absolutely adore you. And you get some schmuck, right, who starts giving you a hard time.
Yeah.
And you're at the position now where you can fire back at them. How good does that feel?
Oh, it feels great. Yeah.
Because I was asking you before we went on the air if you follow any of the other food sites around, and you said that you've backed away from it for a while.
Yeah, not specifically the other food sites, but even our own social media. You know, even when we were open, like I was always, not that I can finally, now that we're busy or successful, be in a position to where I can say something, but it was always one of those things where it's like, hey, this is our shop. We're going to do it, you know, how we want to do it. I'm spending 90% of my life here. I'm not going to have someone come in and try and tell me about the food I make or give me a hard time or my wife a hard time and not say something back. We're not just going to like sit back and take that if someone's being disrespectful. So it was always one of those things where it's like, I'm going to respond to these people. And the only people that have a problem with it are really the people that are the problem. You know what I mean? Those are the types of people that we don't even want in the shop anyway. So if you're not going to come back, that's fine because we're not.
Yeah, we don't want you.
Yeah,
I don't know if I told you this the last time, but somebody pointed out to me, very early on in my restaurant is because I would get, thankfully, not often, I would get a 1-star and it would crush me.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't sleep that night and everything. And somebody pointed out to me one time, if you go to those people's site, we'll use Yelp as an example, and you look at their previous reviews, most of the time they're giving 1 star to most of the restaurants.
Oh, for sure.
To.
It's a type of person. I mean, we have people that have issues with how we cook the pizza, and we have signage on the wall. We have it on our website how the pizza comes out, but not everybody reads that stuff. So I might, trying to explain to people, hey, just ask for it, cook this way next time, or whatever the case may be. The reviews online used to like you said, tear me apart.
They
I'd
would.
Be like,
they really would.
And then
yeah.
I'm like, most of these 1-star reviews are people that never even. It's people that came in, they didn't even get the food, and they're like, I couldn't get the food. It's an hour wait. I'm like, well, you're going to fault a business because they're busy, or you're going to fault a business because, for this or that.
That's a great way to phrase it.
And I have people that leave reviews that have never even come in just because of how I respond to people. A lot of people think it's not professional, or it's this or it's that. But,
I never expected people to feel sorry for me, not at all. However, especially with the influx of the internet over the last, 2 or 3 decades, it just seems like so many people become an expert in so many different areas because of what they think they've learned on the internet, where they have no concept whatsoever as to what goes on behind the scenes.
Not at all. I had someone just a week ago comment on my post, their Google searches about, they tell me, you don't make Roman style pizza, you make Sicilian pizza, because I cook it in a square pan, and they're showing me their Google screenshots. And I said, okay, yeah, you have no idea what you're talking about. You tell me what you learned from Google about the pizza that I make, and I will, just take that. It's like, those are the type of people where it's like, I don't block people on the internet that are like, your food sucks, or I don't like your pizza. I'm like, okay, to each their own. I block people that we have people on our page that are relentless and like personal shots, and, every single day, and they try and tell me about the pizza we make.
Wait a second. There are people that take personal shots at you every day?
Every day. Threats, like name calling. It's even worse than like our DMs.
Yeah, that's not like between them and you. That's between them and their analyst.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's and then, like I said, people, it's not, it's not professional to respond to these people who do, well, I'm not professional. I make pizzas. I'm not a lawyer. I don't do this or that. It's like one of those things where it's, we're a small business. It's me and my wife. We have a handful of employees, and we just do the best we can. And you got people that, don't know how to act in public, and to, service industry people. So that's the people we respond to.
So it gets to you much less than it did in the beginning.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, the fact that you got a line out the door helps.
Yeah.
You got a fantastic product. If I can ask you a technical question, because, of the years I've been doing this and the absolute adoration I have for you and your product. As a matter of fact, you posted, it was either today or yesterday, the day before, a side shot of a slice of pizza with that absolute beautiful, gorgeous crust that was obviously so crispy and crunchy on the outside, and it was like as light as air inside. And I was like, that's what I tried to do for 9 years. I just love that. I also saw a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, you bought a smaller mixer. So you said, so you can do some testing of things.
Yeah.
Did you ever test your procedure and only change the water to local water?
No, mainly because that's why, part of the reason I got that little mixer, it's because right now, like with how we have everything, like we're filled to the gills with dough all over the place, in order to have the fermentation schedule we want and for the amount of dough that we need. So it's like, if I want to test a batch of dough and do something different, I have to use it. So it's like the fear of like, it's Friday night or even, no matter what day, because it's been so busy, I can't really experiment, because whatever dough I make, we don't have room to store. I have to use it. Now with that, I got that little mixer, I can do little test batches, and I can only make 4 or 6 dough balls. I can, try stuff out. So that's kind of part of the reason, not even just for me to know, because is there a difference? Who knows? I think, I get into debates about the New York water and this and that and all the time. I think it helps to have water filtration, not necessarily that it's, this water is from New York or it's
just
whatever.
Purely
it's just
filtered.
Purely filtered.
Yeah.
But I'd like to, see if it makes a difference.
I'd be interested, but I've talked about you so many times. I was on the Liz Calloway show, about a month and a half ago. She asked me to come in. I can't even remember what for, obviously to talk about food. But I think I was on for 20 minutes, and I think I talked about Antos for about 10 of those. 10 of
Well,
those.
thank you.
And I think at one point, Liz her eyes just glazed over because I was just, fantasizing, about, it was like food porn,
Mm-hmm.
What do you do for fun? I know you only have 2 days off, you and your wonderful wife.
Mm-hmm. That's a hard question. I honestly, we really haven't had much time to do anything. Carly, now that we have 2 days off, I have Sundays off, but tomorrow, Monday, I still end up going into the shop for half the day to catch up, to make dough, do all that stuff. So I haven't really done anything. Honestly, I mean, we have our friends that are around and, try and get with them. And
well, you're young, you're successful. I'm sure the success will continue. So you will have time.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have time.
Yeah. At this point, I just like relaxing kind of,
Yeah.
That's how it is. We're still just a year into it. So it's just been constant, 90, 100-hour work weeks now. Finally getting, up until the beginning of the year when we switched to Sunday, Mondays off, it was just Sundays off. So it'd be, I wake up Sunday, do my food orders, do the schedule, go in, make a batch of dough. By the time I get home, it's 3 or 4.
Yeah.
You got your chores, then we're making dinner, and then it's time to go to bed and start the week over, So now, we're getting to a point now, it's like, okay, well now Sundays is my day to not do anything, catch up on stuff. And then Mondays, I'll spend half the day at the shop and then still get another, half day. So now now Carly has an extra day off. So she gets to do her thing a few days a week. And
when you are eating at home, who's the cook at home?
Carly.
Yeah. She good?
She's great.
Yeah. What's some of your favorites of hers?
Oh, she's like a grill master. She's like red meats. We have a freezer in the garage full of like meats, like from the butcher. Her mom brings stuff from Asheville. She lives outside Asheville, I told you. So she, she's like all about steaks and red meat. I cook Italian, obviously pizza, but pastas, things like that. She can cook anything else. So
that's like a couple's swap.
Yeah,
for
sure.
That's amazing.
So we pretty much got it all covered there. But yeah, she's when we were in Florida and I had a little bit more free time, I'd have like a night or 2 nights a week that I would be the one cooking, and I'd do the Italian dinners and stuff like that. But
do you have favorite restaurants in the area?
Absolutely, yeah.
What do you like?
I mean, have you been to Malibu's Surfside?
No.
Gotta go.
Really? I've heard a lot about it.
Those guys are great. Gio's the man. I actually, when we were coming up looking at spots, because our friend lives right down the street from there, we went there to eat. I'm like, this is great. And they have this upstairs area that they weren't really using. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to move to the area and open up a pizza shop. You should let me move in up front. He's like, or up top, He's like, no. Yeah. Then a few months ago, he came into the shop. He's like, I should have let you open upstairs. and now we go back and forth to each other's spots. Yeah. And he's a great guy. But that food's amazing, obviously. In Conway, you got a lot of great places. I'm at Bonfire a lot because me and, Chef Darren cook together a lot. Rivertown.
I was at that night that we couldn't get into your place. We ended up at Rivertown Bistro. It was excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was our first time there.
Yeah, and we just we try and like on Sundays, that's our night that we go out. So we try and go to different places around. We went to Koi in Myrtle a couple of weeks ago for sushi. That was really good. I like that. And we actually, my grandma was in town for Christmas and we went out to eat. We actually went out to this place called Amalfi. It's in the Hilton in Myrtle.
I don't know.
It was in a hotel. I'd never even heard of it before, but that was really good. Yeah. I was surprised. Not that I didn't think it was going to be good, but it's in a hotel and you walk in, kind of looks like a cafeteria setting, but the food was really great. The service was great. The people were awesome. But Carly's a lot more familiar with the area, obviously, than me, with her living here for so long, but still getting to know a lot of the restaurants. But
well, I've been here 4.5 years. I'm still learning.
Yeah, there's so many options. Being in the Keys for 10 years, you kind of eat at the same spots all the time. So there's so many places we haven't been to. And obviously, we live by Market Commons, so we go over there sometimes.
Well, I thought coming from Los Angeles that, I was going to learn the restaurants of the Grand Strand in 6 months. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. No, it's great. And we actually, another one, we live right down the street from, I think it's Atmosphere.
Oh, you know what? I talked about them on the show last year. I love that
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, we go like I'd say every few weeks we go there. I mean, we usually get takeout because we live right down the street.
Yeah.
But really good. We looked it up the one day. We're like, oh, let's try it out.
Yeah.
Really good food.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good. Do you ever fire anybody?
Fire anybody? That's kind of. I mean, I don't really like. We've honestly lost a few people in the last week. We've had people just like walk out the door.
Do you mind if I ask if you know why?
Different things. You have who knows.
Yeah,
it's a weird thing having employees. That's.
I had a dishwasher quit via text in the middle of a shift. I didn't even know he wasn't back there. I'm ringing the buzzer because I'm out at the pizza oven, right? And I'm ringing the buzzer. I'm like, where is he? Where is this guy? He left.
Yeah.
And I get a text. I quit.
Yeah, I didn't. I had someone walk out last week in the middle of we were in a 2-hour wait on a Saturday. They just walked right off the line. I thought they were in the bathroom. They were just gone.
Do you think maybe the pressure of it?
No. I think, who knows why people do the things they do.
Wow, that's amazing.
But, that's why I wanted to keep it small. I don't want to depend on other people for us to be able to run a business. That's kind of the reason that we do what we do and we keep it small because as long as I'm there, we're open. You know what I mean? And that's what I try and tell people. We're a small team. But even if I wanted to have 20 people back there, the line's only so big.
Yeah.
The ovens can only cook so many pizzas at a time. So
did you ever, I'm so curious about this, being the guy that would hire and fire, I don't fire many, but what it was. I mean, if you had to guess, have you talked to the person about it? Did you text and say, what's up? Why?
I haven't gotten any responses.
Oh, but you did look into that.
Yeah, I tried. But, I think one of the things that I've tried to work on as much as I can is I can make pizzas all day. It's being able to lead employees and do all that stuff, which I'm still working on.
Yeah.
But I think there's disagreements. I like have people, I don't really have workers. I like having people there. I don't need like a executive chef in the back, putting together sandwiches and help me top pizzas. Do I like being around you? Will you show up to work? Will you do this? Will you do that? I'm not looking for, a Michelin star chef to come work at the shop. People that are interested in the product that will are passionate about it and that are excited to be there, So I only need a handful of people.
The stuff that you learn, the experience, the wisdom that you get as time goes by. I mean, you wouldn't have been able to say that in your first 6 months.
Yeah, for sure. No. And, we started out, it was a little crazy and now we're kind of in a groove and we're still figuring out our way and, but kind of just figuring it out as we go. And, but we got a good group now and that's all right. We don't need many.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Anthony Ludovici-DeBrigida of Anto's Pizza, Romana, is a prime example of how hard work, good product, it can take you to the stars.
We wanted to do, when we first opened, 100 pizzas max. Hopefully we could sell 100 pizzas a day, and that'll be good for us.
Yeah.
We were selling that so quick. We bought the other cooler. All right, now we're up to 150 pizzas a day. More than enough. Everything's all good. We never really had issues. We'd sell out on Friday or Saturday, but for the most part, plenty. We got back from Rome. We were selling out 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, maybe 5 o'clock every single day, 6 days a week. And then it was like, all right, let's just get through Halloween. It'll probably die down. Never did. So we said, all right, we're going to take out the market, get another cooler. Now we can have over 200 pizzas a day. This is like our max capacity. This is it. But we got rid of the market because it wasn't going crazy, and we didn't make a lot of money off of that either way, but we're like, people are coming for the pizza, so let's buy another cooler, move all the tables, take out the market, and now we have more space for dough, and so now we're just Anto's Pizza Romana. No more market.
Beautiful. And everybody knows you as just plain old Anto's. You've been to Anto's? No, you haven't been to Anto's? What's wrong with you? You better get there. Yeah. Anthony, can't thank you enough for coming in. You're just a joy, and I'm so proud of you. I'm proud to know you, and so glad that you're doing well. From doing well to a bit of a struggle. Coming up after the break, we've got Meredith Herman back in the studio. She is the chef owner of one of the most popular food trucks out there, the Gnosh Pit. If maybe we can help her out a little bit. She's a great gal.
My man, Chef Richard, straight from California. Now he's in South Carolina. He traded the surf for the pines and bars. Now he only cooks for stars. Only cooks for stars. Yeah, he only cooks for stars.
And welcome back to Talking About Food. Hope you liked Anthony Ludovici-DeBrigida, owner of Anto's Pizza Romana in Conway. Hope you liked it as much as I do. I dig this guy. We both had, well, he has, I had a pizzeria in Los Angeles is where I owned mine. And there's just so many similarities to what he goes through, what I went through. He's obviously much, much more successful than I was. And he's a hard worker. And he's been on before, like I said. And speaking of hardworking people, I have somebody else that's been on before, and I dig this woman as much as I dig Anthony. She is Meredith Herman, chef owner of the Gnosh Pit food truck. Hard worker. Look, food trucks are difficult to begin with. You know, people think that it's like the easy way out of not, owning a restaurant. They have no idea what goes on behind the scenes.
No idea.
Yeah, there we go. There she is. Meredith, welcome back to Talking About Food.
I got to get down to that pizza place.
Well, at Anto's.
Yeah,
no,
just
it's
heard
remarkable.
nothing but good things, but it's in Conway, and I hardly get out of the Garden City area.
Yeah, as busy as you are. Hey, listen, I noticed a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, you were posting some stuff. You were having some troubles. Would you be comfortable talking about it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So let me know, because I mean you weren't 100% clear on what was going on. I sensed that maybe there were some business difficulties, and immediately I wanted to help if I can.
I appreciate it.
But any way that I can, that. Can you explain to us what's been going on?
Well, I mean, own a food truck, they said. It'll be fun, they said, Yeah. They don't understand what goes on with everything that, is entailed with it.
And by the way, before we go any further, I just want the listeners to know, this is not Meredith getting on her pity pot. That's not what it's about. It's like I said earlier, she's a hardworking person, and rarely do I see people like this. So I asked her the question. So please don't be emailing me and saying, well, I thought it was so tough, she shouldn't have gotten in. That's not what it is. I asked, she's answering. Go ahead.
Thank you. I mean, you get into it because you're passionate about what you're doing. I mean, this is not why anyone really chooses a career path. That's what I wanted to be when I grew up. I mean, that's not what I said when I was 20, but
yeah, neither did I. That's okay. That's all right.
I mean, I'm about to turn 50.
You don't look it.
Thank you. I feel it though. I will tell you that much.
Yeah.
So the truck has been having some issues. I mean, as far as mechanical.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it really pushed me back, and then I think everything just kind of trickled down, into just a pit of disaster, one thing after another. But yeah, my transmission went on my truck.
Oh, wow. Is it still out of commission?
No, I luckily, and I'm going to give him a shout out, Ray from Enterprise Repair on 544 in Conway. I mean, the flywheel was eaten up. I mean, it was just destroyed. And it cost me a pretty penny.
Yeah.
And he let me pay, and I'm still paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
And since this is our slow season, it's like little by little.
Oh, yeah. But he's got a heart, and he's letting you pay it off.
He has been my diesel mechanic pretty much since day one. I don't remember how I found him, but he's the best, and he's got a heart. And I mean, I'm just trying to pay it little by little. On top of that, I did take over O'Keefe's kitchen and Southside Patty's kitchen.
Yeah, if you don't mind me interrupting, can you explain to the listeners and me as well, what does that mean, a takeover?
We're basically leasing the kitchen, and we put our own menu. I'm buying all the food. I'm taking care of the kitchen. Paying for the hoods to be cleaned. You're just pretty much just taking on a whole new kitchen.
So does that mean that the guests at, say, Southside Patties, they're now eating your food?
Correct.
Or can they still get stuff off the original Southside Patties menu?
No, it's all me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And how has that been going?
It's going good, and O'Keefe's is going good too, but I don't have enough hours in the day to take care of everything. And I was crumbling because I'm just, oh wait, we need this here, we need that. And I'm going to say it does also come down to employees that don't do their job well.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And I'm obviously not going to name any names because I would never do that. But I mean, you know who you are. And, and also, oh, we want to try and help you out. Like, you're not helping me out by not taking the inventory. You know what you got to do. Yeah. If you have been in the kitchen for as long as you say that you have been in the kitchen, I mean, you know what to do.
So you were taking over both kitchens at the same time? On different days? How did that work?
Southside Patty 7 days a week, and O'Keefe's was Wednesday to Sunday. Well, we did 7 days a week at one point, and it just Mondays and Tuesdays were slow. I needed just a day off.
Right. So some of these days overlapped. How did you handle that?
With style and grace. No, just keep going.
And O'Keefe's is the new place in Murrells Inlet?
No, that's McGuy's.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Yeah.
O'Keefe's, Jeremy and Jason, they also own Beer Belly Deli, which is fantastic, by the way.
O'Keefe's. Oh, yeah. On, not Tournament. It's called Mall.
Where El Cerro Grande is, down that road.
Inlet Square Drive or something like that. Yeah, I know it. I pass it 10 times a day.
It's a great place. Yeah. But I unfortunately had to bail out of there because everything was just becoming too much for me. I have to refocus on the truck. I was realizing that I wasn't. Listen, if I can't put 100% towards something, I'd rather not do it. Even if it's 80%.
Yeah, that's how all good chefs are, and you're good.
And I see that things were crumbling, things were getting overlooked, and I felt like it was all of my fault because I am the one who took it over. I am the one that was like, yes, this is an opportunity. I'm an opportunist. I'm gonna make this work. This could be really good. And then I had other bars actually calling me and messaging me and say, hey, we heard you're doing a good job. You want to come and take over my bar? And I'm like, I can't do it.
Can I ask you something? This is just personally, I would like to know.
Yeah.
Can you make enough working a takeover in just one restaurant, say 5 days a week? Is there enough money to be made?
You could. You could, if it's done correctly, if you have the right staff, and if obviously you're working some of the hours too.
Yeah.
Payroll started killing me. On top of the, it was about $7,000 that I had to pay for the transmission. So that and just everything was it just wasn't working. So Jeremy and Jason, they were really cool. I'm like, listen, I have to focus on my truck. I got stuff going on with my mom.
Yeah, and these are the things that very often guests in a restaurant or customers at your food truck don't realize. They don't even think of what's going on in the background when they bring back their French fries because they weren't hot enough or they're too hot.
Right.
Hey, these French fries are...
Can you please put this in the freezer?
Yeah. So you're not doing either of the restaurants anymore?
So O'Keefe's, I told them, I'm like, listen, when life calms down a little bit and I get back on track and my mom's back, and when I have some time to actually sit down and maybe figure out, something that's going to work for that place, because we were trying all different times, we were trying all different kinds of food. It's just these people are also set in their ways. They want burgers, wings. I'm not that person. I want to be creative with my food, and when I come out with something and no one cares to purchase it, buy it, try it, a little piece of like my heart crumbles inside.
Yeah,
because I don't want to be a short order cook.
Yeah,
I want to be someone who creates something that people are excited about and they eat it. They're like, "This is great." I want to be that person. That's why I started this.
Yeah, that's obvious.
So no, I'm no longer at O'Keefe's, and Southside Patties, I also pulled out of there, and February 10th is going to be our last day there.
Why?
I just have too much going on.
So the food truck is back up and running?
Yeah, very minimally.
Why?
Because I got to take care of my mom.
Oh, I see. All right. Yeah, talk about a perfect storm. Wow. If you don't mind me asking, when you do this takeover, I'm sure it's different with each specific restaurant, but is it typically your entire menu, or do you have to choose things from your menu that you believe or the owner believes are the ones that will go over well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, when I started at Patty's, we started with, oh, well, now you can get the food truck food and sit down and have a cocktail instead of trying to find us all over the place, and it's a different dining experience.
Well, it's funny because that was one of the first questions that I was going to ask you, and that was, in the world of food trucks, how do people find you? It has to be one of the most social media driven businesses because you're always moving.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the other thing too is I've heard, I'm not going to be able to come up with an example, but I know I've seen a number of times where people move from the food truck, they build it up, it's popular, and then they move it into the restaurant world. So what I'm getting at is these people that want you to do these takeovers, I feel like they should just let you go. Let you do your thing.
So this is what I've in a couple of days that I've had to ponder about, like, everything. You can take yourself, your menu, your style, everything. And Sean Bernard, he works at SBB and he's a super talented chef too. And I don't know how it's going over there. I'm hoping it's going great because he's a great guy. SBB might be the place for him, the clientele for him. Now the clientele for me.
What is SBB?
Suck, Bang, Blow.
Oh, of course.
Yep.
Right around the corner.
Yeah. The places that I go to, it's just not the clientele that would be excited about ordering duck wontons. That would be excited about if I created something, I was doing these desserts. I was doing these like deep fried peanut butter cup, like pies with, and, we made the presentation very nice. And I mean, even like the cost of these things, we put down because they're older people and they're used to an expensive menu.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we have to make money. All of us have to make money. So I think that if I were to open my own place, which I am not going to do, and if I were to call it the Gnosh Pit, then it would be my people, my clients, like when you're taking over a bar, they already have the whole point of me trying to get into Southside Patties, and they approached us, me and I approached them, and they're both great guys, but they have their own set clientele in there.
Right.
I was trying to bring new people in there as well because my food is different than the regular.
It makes absolute perfect sense.
You understand what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah.
So maybe this, and I tried it and I was like, oh, it's an opportunity. I mean, I went in kind of blindsided. Maybe I can bring my people there. They can go and hang out and have a cocktail and drink there.
Did any?
I had a couple people there, but not consistently.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has their own little watering hole in this area.
Right.
I only frequent maybe 3 or 4 places. And it's because of the ambiance, and the just you feel a vibe. It's a vibe, So maybe my vibe is not the same vibe as Southside Patties. Maybe my vibe is not the same as O'Keefe's. Do I go there and have drinks there? Absolutely. But like, if I were to get time and maybe like investors in the long run at some point, maybe I could open up something that would be just a rock and roll, like heavy metal music vibe. I would love to do something with music and food. That's my vibe.
I was just going to ask you, I just wrote it down. If you had your druthers, would you prefer all things being equal, you end up with the same amount of money at the end of the year. Would you prefer a thriving food truck or a thriving restaurant?
Probably at this point, a thriving restaurant. Because, listen, I love to travel. I really do. But it's obviously becoming expensive when your transmission goes, your engine blows, I was driving once to a $4,000 catering job and my wheel flew off. I almost died.
Wow.
Yeah, and I never made it there. It was a Sunday, and I had to eat all the costs of all the food. That.
How many people?
It was 100 and something people.
Wow. What did they do? Do you know? Were they furious with you?
No.
They were understanding?
No, they were actually really cool. She tried to call a tow truck. It was a Sunday, and to try to find a wheel that is as big as mine on a Sunday afternoon.
They teach you that in culinary school?
No. Where was that?
And next week, it's automotive mechanics.
Seriously. So I sat on the side of the road for 4 hours and finally had someone come. And it cost me $1,000. So, that day I was set out to make $4,000.
Yeah.
So once again, these are things that they don't tell you, They're like, oh, well, she's got a food truck and she runs a business. Oh, well, she's got a whole bunch of money. Are we kidding right now? So I told a bunch of people, I said, right now I just have to take jobs, like catering jobs. I can't take these minimal jobs. I have to pay off this transmission.
Right. Is there something that can be done so you didn't have to travel all over the place with the truck? Because it seems to me like half of the battle. You're obviously excellent at what you do. I've had your food; it's excellent.
Thank you. That's a lot coming from you, and I appreciate it.
Anyway, but what drives me crazy is, and I'm speculating that it's not just the food part of it and getting people there. It's the fact that you have to be moving all the time. Yeah, it's what I first said in the beginning. You're truly at the mercy of people reading social media so that they know where you are. Right,
unless you're just focusing on events that people are like the food truck festival. Yeah. We do the Live Nation, Live Oaks thing in Wilmington. But also I gotta get an Airbnb for the night. And also we have to give a percentage back to Live Oaks.
I had this idea, and I may have explained it to you the last time you were on, that wouldn't it be great if there was a permanent area for food trucks?
Yeah, and I know
there's that one down
Fish Shack. In Murrells Inlet across the street from the Best Western. He's got a little hub, and it's really cool looking.
Yeah, but nobody knows it's there. That's the problem. And then there's that one I've heard about. I've never been there. The Quad in Pawleys Island. But
do that.
Once again, you're at the mercy of seasons. What days of the week they'll let you. If there was a huge field, for sake of discussion, where you could permanently be there, and you know what you do? You have it centrally located, so people don't have to go from Conway all the way down to Pawleys Island. Do it somewhere in the south section of Myrtle Beach, where you can pull people from all different regions of the county. I thought it would be so easy for you guys.
It would be lovely. And I had thought about, what about the parking lot, that big parking lot? It used to be a mall. They do run the Sun Festival and the Food Truck Festival over there now. And it's just a parking lot.
Yeah.
And it's in Myrtle Beach. I guess it's owned by, everything else is owned by Burroughs and Chapin. And I'm sure it would be.
Is it being used?
No.
It's just an empty parking lot. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I really want to look into this more. I certainly wish that I had money, because I would do it myself to charge a food truck a small monthly lease in order to cover the tables and things like that, and then have this awesome awesome place where people could come from all over to try 100 different types of food. There's endless ideas if there is a definitive place that all trucks can gather. All right, let's end this with what's next? Do you have a plan? I mean, you're just inundated with one hurdle after another.
Yeah.
The food truck's up and running again.
It is, yeah.
So you have dates set, places you're going to be back to normal in that sense?
We have very minimal dates. I mean, we're not even doing, I couldn't do Run to the Sun Festival because this is the thing. In January, that's when we get all of our emails for all of our upcoming events. And that's when we have to pay all our event fees. And we have, dates that we have to have our money in by the event fee. So I had to turn down like 3 of them because I couldn't pay it.
Yeah.
Because the transmission screwed me over. So we do Run to the Sun Festival every year. We couldn't do it this year. A couple other things. And I'm like, it's killing my soul. But I just, right now, yes, we're back up and running, but I'm taking very minimal jobs, and anything that has those huge event fees, I can't even do that right now.
You don't want to kill yourself. Folks, seek her out. Meredith Herman, she's the chef owner of the Gnosh Pit food truck. She's excellent at what she does. She's hardworking and has had a number of hurdles in the last couple months. So if anybody deserves a little leg up, it's her. So there you have it. Chef owner, Gnosh Pit food truck, Meredith Herman. Meredith, thanks so much for coming in to talking about food.
Thank you so much.
And that's just about to wrap up this episode. Thank you so much to Anthony Ludovici-DeBrigida, owner of Anto's Pizza. Remember, he spoke about Malibu Kitchen. I still haven't been there. It's right around the corner from me. Koi in Myrtle Beach. Amalfi, I think, in Myrtle Beach as well. Atmosfera, I have been to. I've spoken about it on one of the episodes. Terrific place in Myrtle Beach. Wonderful, wonderful restaurant. It's Ukrainian, Eastern European. It's a good place, Atmosfera. And also, Meredith Herman was talking about Southside Patties on the Garden City Connector over there in Garden City. And also, she spoke about O'Keefe's Irish Pub, which is actually in Merle's Inlet on Inlet Square Drive. A lot of restaurants we talked about. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. You guys got a lot to check out this week. Or you may just want to stay home. And you know what I always say? I know you folks can handle it because you are your family's private chef. Thanks for listening.